Alright, we're back here again in the JConcepts garage for another video blog episode. We're here with Fred Reep. Fred, kind of going over an event we just went to in Lancaster, Ohio. Tell us about the 4-Link Nationals that you and Rich went out there and attended.
Yeah, the high voltage 4-Link Nats, Lancaster, Ohio. Super event put on by Barry Masauer. He's a Monster Jam driver for the Zombie Monster Truck and Monster Jam. And, I've done some past events with him back in the early days, back in 2003. Mm-hmm. And, here we are again today, meeting up again, and he's doing his own event up there, and it was great.
So this event, this was something that was held 2 years ago. They did it at Patrick's shop in Ohio. But so it's not every year necessarily, and it's this is only the second annual, right?
Yeah, I think just with his Monster Jam schedule, it just didn't materialize. Yeah, you were right. The first event was at Dan Patrick's shop, the Samson Monster Truck driver. Mm-hmm. And, he was able to find and secure a building. His schedule was right, so why not 4-Link Nationals too?
So, we loaded up here. We wanted to come in with this event because it did have a lot of attention within our monster truck community, and we wanted to bring in some new items and kind of show off. We always like to do that because these trucks are so fun to build, and everything has a new body, a new identity, and you always get a new version. Talk to us about what you guys kind of did behind the scenes to kind of get ready to travel up there and attend this event.
Yeah, behind the scenes, I mean, as you can look at our table here, we have quite a number of projects that we threw together. First off, visually, you can see right here the Excalibur and the 2 Barefoot trucks. That's our new Chevrolet extended nose truck, or Snoopy Nose is the industry term. Mm-hmm. It's an extended nose, and if you look at our 88 Chevrolet here, visually you can see the nose is a lot longer on these 2 trucks up front and the Barefoot over here. That's what the racers want. They're running real long chassis setups in racing. So we kind of answered their call, and a body that's been highly sought after for many, many years, and JConcepts steps to the table to make it.
Yeah, recently we were working on the press release for this body, and I started thinking about all the trucks that use this style. And we had a few of them represented here, like you mentioned, between the Excalibur and Barefoot. But probably the one that made it the most famous was Taurus, and then you had Monster Patrol, and there was several other trucks back then that used this style, right? Yeah,
the Chevrolet Camp. Once they went from the traditional Stage 2 monster truck and getting into the Stage 3, the chassis were getting longer. They needed the bodies to fit the machines. A lot of them didn't want the extended cab. They liked the regular cab pickup truck. So right here you went from the 88, regular cab pickup truck. They chopped the nose on it, extended it in the bed a little bit. These here are a little bit wider because now in the RC they're also running these trucks a little bit wider. So again, we're listening to the racers and kind of built them a purpose-built body.
Yeah, we had a lot of good input on our 88 Chevy, and you put together this USA 1 here on the 88, which is the representative of what Rod Litzow and Ever Jasmer raced in the 88 season.
Right.
And but that works good on our Clodbuster, the 11-inch type chassis length. Mm-hmm. But these guys were asking us for a much longer body wheelbase wise.
Right.
And that was something that we wanted to do with the Snoop Nose truck, is we wanted to make it a little bigger because we knew they were going to be putting them on chassis, like the Cube, the Chaos, and the ZRP, and all these different chassis that are out there. They're big trucks, right?
Yeah, long wheelbase. Some of these guys again running the width a little bit wider on it. So we wanted to make it to fit and make it all look right.
So what's interesting at an event like this is now not only do we have the Pro Modified, or they were calling it Clodapalooza.
Yeah, Clodapalooza. That was a term they used back in the day for that.
Yeah,
class.
So then there's a shafty class, and then there's the retros. What were you seeing in terms of, the different classes, and popularity wise? What did you think about those classes?
Yeah, retro class. It's an ever-growing class. They have the Stage 1, which is a little bit slower truck, or supposed to be. The Stage 2, it can go with the stock motors in it with a 2S battery, and make a few changes and beef up your stock clodbuster, and you have a little nice retro truck. You get a little more scale, get a little more detailed to where the race machines and the Pro Mod or Clodapalooza, what you want to call those classes, a little more racy, a little more streamlined, not quite as much detail. Again, Dan Wyatt doing a super job here. He pulled out all the stops on this Excalibur and Bear Foot. He did a fantastic job. That's all paint on those bodies. And for a race truck, you go out there and beat him up. He's got a lot of hours in that thing, and it looks spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, we really got to thank Dan for kind of coming to the table there. He was working with you, discussing this particular body. He's got a love for the Excalibur truck. It's his favorite, and he wanted to hit that just right for his personal race ride. And he did a great job on. And then you move over to the Barefoot, which is just as nice as the Excalibur. So I don't know which one I like more, really. I mean, they're both so nice, but this Excalibur kind of sticks out.
Yeah, it's one of his favorites, and I think he went a little extra mile on that one. But again, Barefoot is absolutely fantastic, paying homage to Fred Schaefer and his team back in the day, and spectacular job.
And then you also built and prepped a Barefoot racer here too, which that truck had so many different paint jobs also. But you went with the blue Barefoot racer paint job on our cube. And what did you kind of go into on painting up this guy?
Yeah, this one here, I just kind of had so many projects going on at once at the time. These are all three here are prototype bodies. So maybe a week before the event, Dan was able to help me out and get some concourse ready, video quality bodies. I was able to put this one here together. This was kind of when Fred, we made the transition from the standard pickup truck to the Snoop Nose body style. So I couldn't spend too much time on it, but I just wanted to get enough little detail in there just so we had one. But it came out pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it fits right on this cube truck really nicely. And like we mentioned before, all these race type trucks, between the cubes and the Chaos, or the guys race a lot in Missouri on the Trigger King series, and they're going to be really happy with this size body.
Yeah, the ZRP guys, the Freestyle RC guys, it's something they've been looking for a long time.
So, going into a little bit deeper here in our prep, we had a project that we've been working on for a while with a new tire and a wheel. There's already a class in existence that's a 2.2 monster truck out there, and we made a new tire called the Rangers and a wheel called the Midwest. Explain to us what you did there and what we experienced at the race.
Yeah, the 2.2 class, again, kind of fitting into where Axial stepped into the game with their RC monster truck. A little smaller in tire and wheel package. We felt that was a really good opportunity to seek out an earlier version when monster trucks first started, and fit a tire into that class to make something competitive and work really well. This one here on the table, we did a homage to Bigfoot 1, and we have the Rangers and the Midwest wheel on that one. That project here was put together pretty much days before the event as far as chassis was concerned. It was weeks on the body. But we took an Axial, a crawler truck, and from a box of, couple boxes of parts that we had laying around here, we slapped that thing together. And again, it was only going to be a static model. But, as we were working on it, why don't we do this? And why don't we make it rear steer? And why don't we actually make it work? So we got that thing together, and I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that was the goal with these tires and wheels is, we realized that there was a time point in monster trucks where a 48-inch tire was considered a monster truck tire, or the biggest you could get at the time. And we wanted to, sample some of that look onto our Rangers tire because it's not out there. You can't get this looking tire right now, and then that was something we wanted to bring to the table. Right,
and the scale, the wheels, we spend a lot of time, attention to detail. We wanted to make sure it's right. Everybody's been, praising us on our Renegades and Firestorms and our wheels there. The tribute wheels, they love the look, so we wanted to take it a step further. Let's do the 48 now.
Yeah, the Midwest wheel, we really kind of went with a similar concept with the bolt-in hub in the center for 12 millimeter hex. So, and it comes with all the adapters. So no matter how wide you want to be, you can adjust that on the wheel with our adapters that come with it. And it's just like our Tributes, where it comes with the adapters and the hardware, and you got the open and closed cap in the center, so you can kind of go whatever direction you want.
Yeah, we listened to the guys, and that's what they really liked. The interchangeable hubs, they can adjust on the fly. The width of their truck. If they have a problem, they can change out the inside there. The easy access and the cap. I mean, for the guys that are going to race competitive, they need to take the wheels on and off. That option is there, and displayed here, we did something to scale, so we have the locking hub type adapters on there.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple questions online. Some guys were like, what's the gold inside there? And you had detailed it out where you put the gold inside on the cap there. What was going on there? Explain to anybody that knows that. What's that gold?
Yeah, that's just a representation of a worn locking hub. They were able to lock the hubs and take them out, so you can make it freewheel in the front or the rear of the truck on the axles. So yeah, we just want to go and super detail that thing out.
What we're going to do is, we're going to have these tires like our other monster truck tires. They're going to be available in the blue compound and the gold compound, just like the other tires, because we've had success both compounds, right?
Yeah, on the carpet, the gold has been pretty much the way to go, and on the dirt, we have a race coming up in New York, and we're going to put them to the test out there again.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the goal. Is we want to go 2 for 1 here, because there was already a class in existence that was 2.2 racing.
Right.
Guys that were taking these trucks, putting on those size tires and wheels, and there's a whole nother class. We wanted to be able to enter that class with our product, and then we also wanted to be able to replicate trucks from the 70s and 80s that were using these 48-inch style tires.
Right, yeah, if we're going to scale down the tire, we may as well make it look right and proportionate to the way the truck would have been back then.
So going into the race itself, I know you had a nice, driver social there at the beginning with all the trucks and the parade of trucks and the concourse and show and shine. It's got about 1,000 names, but in the end, it's a bunch of trucks out there where everybody can kind of look at what everybody's done, right?
Yeah, it's great. Once you show up and you unveil these things, everybody's kind of going nuts. They get excited. Everybody starts talking to one another. What projects they were doing. It's nice. It's a big tie-in to the normal everyday racing. Off-road racing, you kind of focused on, it's a race car, it's a race event. It's got to look good, yeah. But here, you're putting more of the hobby, from back in the day into the sport. So you're going a lot of scale detail, but yet, have a competitive machine.
So, we went from the show and shine, we had some guys, obviously displaying their trucks out there, and, it seems like wherever the camera is, there's another truck you like, but that's just the way it is out there.
Yeah, that's the way it is. I mean, a kid in the candy store, you just go on down the line and, oohing and on all these great trucks these guys are making.
But in the end, we start the event, it's a race event for Link Nats. And you want to talk to us a little bit about how the racing went? I mean, we had some great results, some great racing by guys. I mean, I can bring up the Axial Sport Mod class, which you might want to explain what Sport Mod is, and then talk about the guys that did so well there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a toned down monster truck. It's supposed to be more of a an earlier age, stage 2, stage 3 type look truck. 17.5 in the motor. Yeah, just Russ Bryant, spectacular job. He's always one to watch. These guys race religiously every weekend, super competitive. He runs off-road, he runs the monster trucks.
Yep.
I mean, he's just the guy. I mean, you put in the work, you put in the effort, practice makes perfect, and he's one to beat. Once you pull up to the line with him, you're in for some trouble.
So he's got his Dangerous truck.
Yeah, the Danger Russ truck.
Danger Russ.
Yeah.
And which is kind of a pretty clever name, and I believe that body might have been painted by Darkseid, but it's a really cool look too, right?
Yeah, and then we have Mikey. He kind of runs our stuff for Team ZRP. He was up there taking the second place spot in there.
That was with the Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, the Lethal Weapon truck. And then we go into the Cloudapalooza, which is different organizations call it different, but that'd be like the Pro Mod class. And again, we had Russ Bryant taking a win there again. Top 3, JConcepts, Matt Stoltz and his Rambo, Russ Bryant with the Ruckus 2.0 truck.
Yeah. So, I mean, we get in a sweep, and that's probably the most, that's like two-wheel mod
Yeah, that's the big.
Yeah,
the big
so
one.
it's like if you want to win something in monster trucks, you want to win pro mod or Cloudapalooza.
Right.
If you want to win something in 10 scale off road, you want to win 2-wheel or 8 scale buggy, right?
Right.
So that's your big class. Then we get down to the class that I kind of like a lot is the retro stage 1 and 2. What'd you think of the retros? I think you were out there running. We have a couple trucks.
Yeah, we had a couple trucks. I know there's a shot out there. I'm putting it on the tailgate, but ended up saving that on our Bigfoot 4 truck and ended up pulling off a win on that race. But yeah, it was fun. Mike Eaton taking the Aces High truck. He's running our tires and wheels. He took the first place spot in there. Retro Stage 2, which was more of the second generation monster truck with the planetaries that would have been on those trucks.
Yep.
And the straight rail frames and the real 1-1 class. Again, Tim Powers, he was running a Bigfoot 4 truck, and Matt Stoltz taking a number 3 spot in there with his lethal weapon.
Yeah, you look at the results on stage 2. We have the Frequent Flyer who won, then Bigfoot 4, and then Matt Stoltz were the top 3 positions there. But
Yeah.
that's kind of the stage 1 and the stage 2. That's becoming more popular, it looks like.
Yeah, it's becoming more popular. I mean, it's really nice, and I kind of, there's guys that, go a lot more into the chassis detail. We kind of like to pay homage. I mean, this 30th anniversary for the Clodbuster. We felt in retro we should have brought back, the true RC monster truck, which was the Clodbuster, and we kind of stayed close to its roots, utilizing its own drivetrain, stock motors, and it's a great working machine.
Yeah, I mean, how many RC vehicles have been around 30 years and they still use the parts? It's not.
Yeah,
very
they
many.
still, yeah.
I mean, it's they have a classes dedicated to the Clods. They're still using the axles on the pro mods. I mean, 30 years down the road is pretty nice to see.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that.
There is. Kind of moving into we talked about earlier the 2.2 monster truck class, which is kind of what we brought those new Rangers tires up for, and we had another sweep there.
Yeah, another sweep. I mean, Russ, with his JConcepts 2.2 truck, spectacular job. The tires worked really well. I was working with those guys all weekend, getting input back and forth. They made some adjustments, to the wheel, the track of the truck, and some of the guys, they just ran them stock. And again, as you can see in the results, the tires performed.
Yeah. I mean, then Sonny here, I believe he was the TQ in one of the classes.
Yeah, Sonny Stantucci, he did a super job. He ran the Overkill truck, the Maximum Overkill paint job on that one. And Matt Stoltz, he ran another JConcepts theme body truck. Again, 1, 2, 3, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, this was something, and we had, I think, 4 complete sets of tires, or was it 3? I can't even remember. But I mean, we had one on our display, Bigfoot 1, and then we had only basically 2 or 3 in competition. And it was kind of tight. That's all we had, but we wanted to get an experience with them, right?
Yeah, that's the only way you're gonna find out if you're going in the right direction. We kind of knew, and you have such a vast background in tires and wheels, to where you kind of know what's gonna work, and just basically looking at the tire, you're gonna have good traction with it. It's gonna perform well. Being able to adjust the tire compounds for indoor carpet and outdoor dirt. The total package is there.
Yeah. And then, so that was, just like we said, a class that's already in existence. I mean, we got the Cloudapalooza, which, you could probably see that as like our 2-wheel mod of off-road racing. The stage classes here, that would almost be, your stage 1 and 2. That could almost be like your entrance into monster truck racing is probably the cheapest way in. You get to the 2.2s, which is, it's sort of like just sort of a sidestep from your Cloudapalooza or Pro Mod.
Yeah, it's
right?
still kind of an affordable way to get into it. Some of these guys are super modding these trucks out already, but again, you got to pay attention to these guys just getting into the sport. You got to try and keep the costs down, and yet make it competitive.
Yeah, I mean, the way we're in this this class right now is, people ask me, hey, how do I get into this? And I think at this point that probably the easiest thing for me to say is, one, you could get the Axial truck, that's the Gravedigger, the Max D. That's one way. The other way would be to get a Clodbuster and to start in one of these stage 1 or 2 retro classes, because it's minimal mods, minimal changes. It gets you in there, gets you playing with the guys, and then you can kind of learn from there where you want to go.
Yeah, then you can make the step up if you want to, or stay in the class. I mean, it's real competitive class.
Yeah, I loved racing mine. We did a little bit of freestyle RC shafty shootout. Mikey Macia, he was there all weekend in every class. Him and Russ were really, kind of the fastest of the fast there.
Yeah.
Him and Matt Stoltz, they're right up there in just about every class. What'd you see out of the freestyle stuff?
Yeah, awesome products as well. I mean, we got one here where we're actually working on and going to put some bodies on it for the future for some displays and advertisements. But yeah, another super product. These guys, Mikey and Russ. I mean, again, practice makes perfect. If you want to run and you want to be competitive, you got to do it. You got to practice, and that's what these guys are doing.
Yeah. So Mikey running the 747 theme truck, and then he had the Titan, and then Russ with the JConcepts. But this is the ZRP. He runs that stuff, plus they're running some JConcepts items on those trucks as well.
Right, yeah, and then some of the guys are running the Freestyle RC type axles, with their shafty conversions. So,
yeah. I mean, we, like you said, we had that Freestyle RC truck, which they were selling online, and I had to have it. It was so cool looking, and like you said, we're gonna outfit that truck along with some of our others pretty soon. That's kind of the roots of the main racing information that we have. What are we looking forward to down the road? Where are we going to be next?
Yeah, we're going to be up at the RC Monster Truck Challenge, the World Finals up in New York, Chester, New York, Barnstormers Raceway. The DeFalco brothers going to put on another spectacular show. Those guys, they got it going on. We'll be up there. We'll have the tent. We'll have some product, maybe something new to display. And we're going to take a couple days off, and head on out the next weekend. NRCTPA World Finals once again. Another spectacular event. The trucks, the monster trucks, the pullers. It's a great venue. It's a lot of competition. The guys are really raising the bar, and they're going to be bringing the A game. They want to win.
Yeah, I mean, we start up in New York. Last year we were at both of those events, but this is one that's for the year here. It's on dirt, right?
Yeah, it's on dirt. I mean, a majority of these guys, there's some beautiful concourse looking fine pieces here, but again, I like to see them get them dirty.
Yeah,
it's monster truck.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of build these to race occasionally, and running in the dirt is fun.
Yeah. So
kind of going outdoors, what we do is we typically switch compounds, but we stay with a similar tread, right?
Yeah, we'll stay with a similar tread. Tire of choice is probably going to be the Renegades in the blue compound. It seems to work really well. The carcass of the tire, it gives a lot of side bite, a lot of rolling forward traction. So I think that's going to be the tire to beat.
And then, of course, they have other classes there too. But are we going to get to race the 2.2s, or are we going to display only?
I believe they have a 2.2 class. I've been quite busy, so I don't quite have their list of classes on there. But you can check them out on Facebook.
Yeah, either way.
Or either way. But they will be there. And we will have guys with the trucks ready. So if that class is a go, you're going to see that tire on the track.
And then moving to the NRCTPA, that's the one last year. They have everything there.
They have
Tractors,
everything. Trucks and tractor pulls, the monster trucks, timed and elimination classes, freestyle. We won the freestyle the last year we were there. We won the nationals there.
Yeah.
And we're looking to do that again.
Okay. Well, that's the latest on our trip to the 4-Link Nationals with Fred. Fred, before we go, we want to give a quick shout out to the builds on these trucks. Thanks to you for building these, going up with Rich, having a great weekend up there with JConcepts, and then Dan Wyatt and Russ. We got Matt and all these guys
doing a super job.
Yeah,
and
we had all
Dan
these guys.
Wyatt, spectacular paint work again. It takes the whole team to get a job done. Sometimes here at the shop we can't get it all done, so we rely on our team guys, and maybe a week before the event, and these guys here were able to pull off these great paint jobs and great working machines.
All right, well, thanks for the info, and thanks for watching here on JConcepts. We'll be back again. We got more vlogs coming up. We have some race events that we want to touch on for off-road racing, the Southern Nationals that we just finished up, and appreciate everybody watching, and stay tuned for the next one.
See ya.